Hey, YouTube. Let's talk about a 8-2 split sleeper and T-calls. You all right with that?
Sounds like a plan.
Tubiest of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. I'm 50 plus one.
Hey.
So, DOT time. Maybe I can get you guys to look at the Qualcomm as well, but it's kind of after the fact, so you may not be able to see quite what I would like for you to see. But we were on a load, and the load actually drops in 2 days. So here in Dallas, and we are 2 days early. So my driver leader got that load T-call. T-call means terminal call, and a terminal call means just that. We brought our load from its origin to a terminal, and then we're going to leave it here, turn the paperwork in at the T-call desk, and another driver will pick the load up here from the terminal and take it to its final destination. That's a T-call. And so what happens is just what I explained, okay? And you take your paperwork inside. If the load is over 30,000 pounds, you have to get a scale ticket. Okay, we scaled yesterday, and we got the scale ticket where the numbers were high on the drives. Did some quick math, slid it, and took off. So I didn't get another reprinted ticket because there was a huge gap between what we could have accomplished by sliding the tandems and what would be illegal. Huge difference. So it's no sense in going to rescale that. You know, we took on off. Okay, so when I got here, by the way, at the time, this was not a T-call load. We were supposed to take it to the final, so it didn't matter. But if you T-call a load, you have to have a scale ticket if it's over, I think it's 30,000 pounds. So no big deal. I just went and rescaled, ran across the scale, got the ticket and burned up because I already knew that we were legal. But you got to prove it when you get here. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know about a T-call. And then make sure you make mention of make note of where you park the trailer. You go and let them know, and then they'll write it on. Like we have a row on that on our new load because we're picking up a T-call, and we're going to take that T-call to its final. Okay, and that final is for this evening, so that's going to be important to know. And that would mean we can pick up another load today. Okay, so that's the basic gist of a T-call. Okay, and generally that's because you're extra early, like we are, or it may be already set up for a T-call. Okay, because that is generally because that load has an extended amount of time on it, and you're like, wait, you're going to be way early, and that's to keep you from sitting. Okay, this load turned into a T-call because they didn't expect us to be 2 days early. Okay, so that's one thing. And what's the other thing we're going to talk about? I'm drawing a blank. We gotta get a spare tire while we're here. Remember, we had the flat, so we're gonna go to the tire shop there, and they'll throw us on a tire. And we're also gonna do glad hand seals. I noticed that a glad hand seal was torn on the service line to the trailer, so we're going to fix that. Okay.
Sounds good.
Any questions about any of that so far?
I think we're good. I think we're here at the terminal, so we'll be able to get those things taken care of pretty soon.
And you got a grasp on what the T-call means, then, right?
I do.
All right. So, again, we're way early. So, after your time, your service hours expired yesterday, I then took over, right?
That's right.
And I started to driving, and I drove about 300 miles of the balance, and then I stopped really early. And I stopped early because there was a Love's there, and it was about 3 p.m. And if I had gone on to the fuel stop, which was another Love's, we could have stopped there. But I looked on Trucker Path, and that particular Love's only had like 40 parking spots. And at 6 p.m. I was thinking that we might have an issue parking there, so I went ahead and shut down early. And on a T-call, you want to try to get the T-call dropped off at a terminal as early as possible so it doesn't hold up the next driver. Although it wouldn't have mattered in this situation because it's 2 days away and the delivery is only like 30 miles from here.
That's not bad at all.
Right, so it would not have mattered, but it was an opportunity for me to do a split sleeper. Okay, so a split sleeper didn't show you what a split sleeper was while we were on duty. So what happens is you get a fresh clock after 10 hours of sleep in the bunk, okay, or off duty time, whichever one, but 10 consecutive hours regenerates your clock. Okay. However, I'd only driven about 5 hours. Okay, so of my 14, I only had driven about 5 hours of that 14 when we parked. Okay, so what would happen is I go to the sleeper and I stay in a sleeper for 8 hours. After 8 hours, the DOT clock will give me back the remaining hours left on there. Okay, so if I've only driven 5 hours out of the 11, then I got 6 hours still remaining. Okay, everything stops when you go to the sleeper except the 14. The 14 is going to continue to run down. Okay, after the 8 hours, I still had enough DOT time and time on my 14. So if we look at the 14 right now, I'm going to see if
you have 0 hours and 44
right
minutes
now.
of remaining
See my
drive
14.
time.
My 14. By the way, guys, you know what? I'll let you look at that. All right. Although I've only been driving about almost 6 hours. Well, not quite that, but as you can see, my 14 has only got 1 hour and 53 minutes left on it, and that's because left over from yesterday is where that 14. It never stops until you do a complete 10. After I get the rest of my rest break, all of those clocks will go back except the 70. 70 is going to keep running, counting down. Okay, so the 14 says 1.3 an hour and 53 minutes because I started this clock, 12 and a half hours ago, a little over 12 hours and 7 minutes ago. Okay, you following where I'm at?
I am.
All right. The 11 and the 8 hour clock, those are left over from yesterday's clock as well. All right, so You see what we have remaining. All right, now if I go to the sleeper, which I'm about to do that right now, I'm going to go to the sleeper, and when I go to the sleeper, I only need to be in a sleeper for 2 hours. And when I go to sleep for 2 hours, all those clocks gonna go back to full. Okay, that's gonna happen because the additional 2 hours completes the 10. Okay, you have to do 8 consecutive, then you can drive out whatever you got, then do the other 2, and that completes the 10, and all the clocks will come back. Of course, the 70 never comes back. It just runs down till it's over. Then you either running on recaps, or you are going to take a 34. Okay, 8-hour split sleeper. So why did I do an 8-hour split sleeper today? It's because I left quite a bit of time on my clock yesterday because I wanted to be lazy and park and make it easy park, an easy day. But we could do that because we run so far ahead of the clock. Okay. And the next thing is we are in Lancaster, Dallas, Texas. And if I had waited those other 2 hours, we would have gotten here doing rush hour, and I would have been sitting in a bunch of traffic. Okay, so I did a split sleeper so I can avoid the traffic, and we had no traffic coming here. I even left and rescaled so I could get a ticket to turn the T-call in, and came back and still no traffic because we got here so early. That's the reason I did the 8-hour split sleeper. You can also do it when the time that you arrived at on location at a shipper, and you arrive there too early. Okay, you can then go to the sleeper for those 8 hours, but 10 would make you late. Okay, do 8, go make your delivery. After that delivery, go park and finish your other 2 hours. Okay, so the 8-hour split sleeper is a very useful tool if you use it correctly, you know. And sometimes when I'm driving solo, I just do it because it breaks up the day, you know. You may get tired and, well, shit, I'll just stop early, do 8, and then you're gonna get all the rest of those hours back, drive them out, then take another 2-hour break, and then you have a whole new clock. Okay, now the 14, after 10 hours in the bunk, the 14 don't regenerate, because it won't regenerate until after the midnight. Okay, you also don't get back. Well, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. If you are running on recaps, the 14 won't regenerate until midnight when you get your recap hours back. That's what I meant. I didn't mean it the other way. You got if you're on recaps, you got to be careful. Okay. And I'll show you what recaps you got coming. You got a bunch of good ones, but you've been in the bunk now for 24 hours, and so you won't start driving until your 34 is up, and then you'll drive, and then we'll get to Houston, and I'll do my thing, and then when we take off again, you will drive another 10, which means I'm going to be in the bunk at that point, say 24 hours. Okay, then you're done because your clock's over, correct, at that point, and you have to take a 10-hour break. So when you take that 10-hour break, I can start driving again, because at that point I will have 34 hours. My will be over. That's a rolling 34. Okay, so you need to learn that whenever you are teaming. When you're done, you're gonna do a rolling 34. You do it that way. Your truck don't stop up for 10 hours. That's it. And then your partner will start driving, and then you start your 34. Sounds like a winner.
Sounds pretty good. I'm thinking about it also.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna practice it a little bit. You know, we're gonna do. I mean, you're over half now, so you only got about maybe 10 days. That's it. You'll be done. But in that 10 days, after 7 days, your clock will be done because you're running 10 plus hours a day. So you're going to have to do another 34 before you can finish. And we're going to do a rolling 34 at that point. Cool?
Sounds good.
So we're going to replace the glad hand seals, but that's going to be on the next video. I'll let you guys see how to replace those. Very, very simple, easy process. And but you learned something. Anything else?
I can't think of anything offhand, so.
You're excited about being about 60% now?
Yeah, I was thinking about it a little bit earlier. It's just flown by, so.
Yeah.
It's almost here. So.
It's almost over. The time you spend with a mentor is it's not very long. It happens extremely quick, and you know, it could be a long time depending on which mentor you have. But I mean, it could take the same 3.5, 4 weeks, but it feel like a year depending on who your mentor is, you know, and how well of a student you are able to adapt to this lifestyle. Because a lot of times as a student, you think the mentor is just a horrible person, and you know, you hear all these horror stories about mentors, that sort of situation. But keep in mind, as a student, you have no idea what's supposed to be going on out here. You don't know if what this person is, how this person is behaving is abnormal to this industry, and it's shocking to you. You know, I bet you have seen some pretty eye-opening situations.
Mainly at the truck stops.
Yeah, man.
It's a different world.
Yeah, man. You know, you see people standing in their truck butt naked, wiping themselves down with a wet nap or something. Man, you see some nasty stuff. This guy in this truck parked right here in front of us was sitting in his truck with his in the front seat, shirt off, nasty gray hairs all over his belly. He looked like a gray grizzly bear with his belly sticking away up here in the front seat, looking nasty. Said, who the hell want to see that? Want to see that? You know,
and here it is. I'm about to be assigned a truck. Let's just hope.
You're gonna get that one. Remember that number right there. You're gonna have nasty gray-haired back sweat all over the seat when you get in it. I'm gonna make sure you get that one. Let me write that down. That bit's gonna smell real good. You done with that? You go. It's trucking is a lifestyle, okay, and it's something you have to get used to. And it may be shocking to you in the beginning, but this is just how it is. And you go into those truck stops and you realize why I spend so much time in my truck.
The conversations.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Hey, everybody's like, oh, you talk bad about truck driver. You truck driver. Hey, yeah, but I can't get with that. You know, some of that stuff, bro. I went to the restroom at that Love's that we were just at, and it was a small Love's. They had a big parking lot, but it was a small Love's. You know, when we just spent the night, that 8 hours there, and it had 2 urinals, and both of them looked like Leif Pisson up underneath them. It just looked like somebody, whoever was in there, just decided they were just going to miss the urinal altogether and just flow a river of yellow all over the floor in front of the urinals.
I didn't go in that.
You might have been happy that you didn't go in, and that's very odd for Love's, you know. So they must have, you know, recently happened, because Love's, all of the major lane of truck stops, they don't care, TA Pilot, all of them, those restrooms are damn near pristine when you go in there. They are really clean. So this must have just happened, you know. But think of the mentality of a person that would do that. You know, I don't know. Maybe there was a midget and couldn't reach the goddamn bowl. I don't know. But they did not touch it. They didn't know. Maybe they don't like the flush. I don't know. But it was bad. You know, and that's just a lot of the mentality, man. So, you know, I don't want to hear no 45-minute story about a 30-second lie. So I stay in my truck. You know, eating here, sleeping here, watch TV, whatever, my own time. I rarely go into a truck stop, into the, you know, the actual facility, unless I gotta go use the facility. Other than that, there's nothing in that truck stop I want. Period.
You don't even buy drinks in there.
No. Why?
He gets on to me for drinks. He's like, he's wasting your money. He's smart though.
Yeah.
I have blown some money at the truck stops.
Look, we ain't stopped at a truck stop that you ain't come back with something in your hands.
2-3 bags of this, that, and the other.
Every stop, we can stop 4 times. He gonna get 4 somethings every time he go up here with him truck stop. But we gonna talk about that. We gonna fix that, cause that's not a good habit, man. You know. And we go to the Walmart. We go whatever grocery store we gotta go, and we load up. You know, and we got refrigerators in here. You just keep them cool in there. Besides, when you go get a fountain drink out of the Loves, you know, that's carbonated, you know, soda stuff that, you know, it ain't all the way real, and then you paying more than what you could pay if you'd have, you know, just bought you a 6-pack at the grocery store and put it in the refrigerator. If that's what you want to do, you know. I drink a bunch of tea, and then I go get it from the Walmart or wherever, and then I load up with it. And somebody trying to break in here?
I think it's a bird.
It's a bird walking on the roof.
Remember that bird we saw that was up in Wyoming? He was, I don't know what kind of bird he was. He was this tall.
Yeah.
And he stayed up on top of the trailer of that one truck. He was just walking around all morning.
Yeah. Yeah. You see some very interesting things. Is the birds will hang around truck stops, because when the trucks come to a stop, park or whatever, birds will go and pick insects off of the grill from the trucks driving down the road. They pick up insects, and the birds will land there, and you get bees will land on your windshield and eat the dead bugs on your windshield.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch. Just a lot of interesting stuff right here.
So some antelopes.
Yeah.
Up in Wyoming yesterday,
yeah.
the day before yesterday.
You know, in the right time of the year, and it's right starting to get hot, so the antelopes will move up to higher ground to escape the heat. But they just probably started migrating up there a few weeks ago. About a little over a month ago, when I was going through there, you would see, which was really, really cool, you get to see the mommy antelope with their new fawns, you know, the brand new little babies. And I saw one, and he was just still trying to, he must have just gotten born, because the mommy was using her nose to help him stand up. And they like drop them and then get up and make them stand up right away. In the wild, they have predators that come after them, and they actually have to get born and start walking like immediately.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's very common in just about every animal out there. You know, that's how it works. And y'all worried about backing? Shoot, they got to walk the second they get born. They ain't even got the mucus at their eyeballs, and they got to learn to walk to keep from getting eaten. You know, and so that's a fact. So you worry about backing is nothing. Be a baby antelope. Okay. But other than that, you know, everything else is rolling right along, right?
Yeah, everything's going good.
Good deal. So we'll see you all tomorrow, and we'll teach you how to change some glad hand seals. Super easy. All right. Deliver undistracted. Here we go. Boop.
Hi, this is Autumn, and I'm a recruiter here at Swift Transportation, and I would love to help you get your trucking career started. please give me a call on the contact information that is going to display at the end of this video. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and then there's also a cell phone number you can text or that you can call if for after hours. I look forward to speaking with you. Just please make sure that you contact me before you do any inquiries online or call Swift at all. That way I can make sure that you are taken care of and I'm your recruiter.